do I really want to compete with cat videos and fails and whatever all that is?
Well, I mean, you have to. Okay, let me welcome Mahmoud Kattan here. He's a music producer and songwriter, and he's also doing the vocals and guitar for his band Atropos. Hello, Mahmoud.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well, thank you very much. How about you?
Good, thanks a lot. I saw that you also do some tutorials online. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I do. I started that during the whole lockdown thing because I was getting bored at home. And I figured since my studio is at home anyway, I might as well use the time to address some issues that I find a lot of bands seem to have that I work with, a lot of musicians in general. So I started doing those tutorials to just address those things, mainly concerning stuff like songwriting itself, how to structure a song, what to pay attention to, how to program drums, what is a synthesizer, really basic stuff, but I try to make it as digestible as I can and address the problems that the musicians and artists that I'm working with seem to be having. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to focus on. It's mostly really technical stuff, but I try to break it down as much as I can for people that have no understanding whatsoever about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Really cool work. I also saw that you did a post about some beginner that approached you that had some struggles to create some tone or string, and then that was also something you did a tutorial about, right?
Yeah, there's this subreddit. For those of you who don't know what Reddit is, it's basically a big kind of anonymous page, forum kind of thing. And it has these things called subreddits. And subreddits are anything you want them to be. There's millions of subreddits, I think, or maybe at least hundreds of thousands. And there's this one subreddit called Metal Musicians. And one guy posted in there that he had trouble getting a good bass tone. And I just made a tutorial for him about that because I think a good bass tone should be something anyone can achieve easily. But I think people on the internet make it seem like it's super hard and it's impossible and you need to be the best player in the world. No, you don't. You just need the right tools and know how to use them. Most people have the right tools nowadays. If you have a computer and you know how to use Cubase or Ableton or Logic or whatever you have, then chances are you're going to get a good bass tone. Maybe not the best in the world, but you can make it work well enough.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. I think you're doing a really good job out there, like to help those that struggle, like to find out how to do it and stuff. And talking about it, I was wondering, I don't know much about producing music, just a little bit, but I was wondering how much actually is produced digitally, or let's say 100% digitally without any instruments nowadays. And how do you work actually?
Well, depends on the genre, I would say. I mean, obviously, there's some genres that are all what we call in the box, meaning in the computer. It's all programmed. Genres like electronic dance music, EDM, is probably going to be all produced in the box. Other genres are somewhere in the middle, like maybe hip hop has more elements that sometimes can be live drums, for example, sometimes appear. Vocals obviously are still something that you have to record. You can't just program those. Um, but with the genres that I work with, that are mainly focused on real instruments, it's somewhere between rock, metal, punk, some hip hop here and there, some EDM here and there. But I still try to record as much as I can with actual instruments for those kinds of styles. Obviously, I'm not going to try and program guitars. That's just insane for a metal band. But it's more and more approachable to do program drums, which a lot of bands opt for that I work with because it's just more cost efficient. I would prefer, however, to record drums for real, but it's always a budgetary issue. And bands these days just don't have money anymore, unfortunately. Not to speak of the labels that don't really want to pay for anything anymore either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to work within the budgets of the bands, and the more I can save money-wise for them, the more we can put time into things that really are important, such as guitars, vocals, and the songwriting in general.
Okay. So besides the cost efficiency or the financial issue, um, what are the pros and the cons actually of doing of working still with the instruments actually, or going 100% digital?
Well, some of the things that you can record for real, you can't really replicate programming, even if it's a great sounding sample. And I'm not against programming or anything like that. On the contrary, if it sounds good, I don't care how it's achieved. But some of the intricacies that you can achieve with your hands or with certain aspects of analog gear, it just doesn't work the same digitally for some reason. I'm not a scientist. I just know I can achieve something very easily sometimes with a real guitar, and it would take me hours, if at all possible, to program that. So one thing is character, like
I
one,
just wanted to say that that word was really sitting on my tongue.
right? Right. So basically, to sum all that I set up is character. Like sometimes a certain guitarist plays a certain way and you just can't program that. Same thing for a bassist, same thing for a drummer. If you have a really, really good drummer, what's the point of programming it if he can play it more organically and nicely and just more, I hate the word feel, but like feel, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I totally get the point here.
So
Yeah.
I really don't like the word feel for some things because people seem to abuse it to just say, oh, this guy does not have feel. And I'm just like, if it sounds good, it's good. But if you have an incredible drummer, or incredible guitarist or bassist, then try and record that instead of programming. But sometimes it's just the way to go because money and time and all that. It's just, unfortunately, that's the reality of it today. But fortunately, a lot of more people can make music that way. So we got both sides of that.
All right. All right. Very interesting. That's yeah. Some of the subjects are known to me, and I definitely, I don't know how you feel about that, but seeing musicians nowadays, is it also like an issue in the fields that you work, that some of the musicians are not anymore like used to sit in a basement and practice till they master their art? They try to do a little bit of everything. Is that a thing that you experience or not?
Um, I mean, you always run into musicians that aren't on the level that you would need them to be in the studio to record their parts, but there's ways around that and there's solutions for every situation. I mean, if I have a musician that just can't seem to nail a riff for a certain song, then I personally don't mind recording literally like beat by beat or note for note, even if it gets the result. Um, yes, it's nicer to have musicians that are incredible and it makes my life easier and I don't have to edit something that nobody wants. Like at the end of the day, the listener won't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wish people practiced more, true, but some, like a lot of the musicians that I work with are mainly songwriters, and the instruments that they happen to write on is just a tool for them.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I also get the fact that, yeah, he doesn't want to spend 15 hours a day practicing like an idiot when at the end of the day, he just wants a good song. So it's a balance thing on one part. On the other hand, guys, please try to practice with a metronome from time to time. Like,
Common
Yeah,
issue, huh?
yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
Awesome, awesome, nice. Regarding connecting with the people that work with you, or like people that you run into, I have a question regarding, yeah, specifically our tool. How would a tool like ours, like beetree, how would that help you the best? Like, how would that serve you the best?
Mhm. I think the best approach for me to answer that question is to answer how it works currently for me.
Go
And
for it.
um, currently, right now, my clientele has been all word of mouth, meaning I do a good job for band A, and band B hears that result, and they go to band A and say, "Hey, who did you work with? Who recorded you?" And they'll point at me. So that's how I get like 90% of my clients. Literally just they heard something they liked and they asked that band or asked that artist, and then they get a referral to me. That takes time. That is not efficient. Like that is very much reliant on, firstly, well, I need to do a good job, which I hope I do every time. um, but it's still reliant on that music being heard by the right person, and that person wanting to record something and then asking about me. It's very inefficient. I have no control about it, and I just rely on luck at that point.
Yep.
So if there's an app that can literally take that luck issue out of the equation, that would help a lot, if that makes sense. So if I have a platform where I know, okay, these are people that need a producer, they need someone to record them and record them well, and maybe for a price that is approachable for them, and I can advertise myself on that platform to those people without all the fluff around it, like on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. I can get people.
You
I mean,
said that so beautiful. I can't even add anything to that. That was
let's be
nicely
let's be
said.
honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, I could just add one thing. That's specifically one of the main reasons that, we came up with this, because there's definitely an attention issue out there versus a meaningful, how you say that, exposure, you know?
Yeah,
Um, and I think with everything you said, you just spoke out of my heart. That was awesome. That
I'm glad because
was
let's
awesome.
face it, like if you try and advertise anything on Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform you're using, chances are the people that you need to reach probably have ad block. Like that's the first problem that you're gonna run into. and, and the second issue is it's gonna be drowned out by all the other stuff that's on there. I mean, do I really want to compete with cat videos and fails and whatever all that is?
Well, I mean, you have to.
The problem is, yeah, I have to, but I've tried and it didn't work. Like advertisement on there, either I'm doing it wrong or people just are not responsive to that kind of advertisement, because I've tried and I still got more clients from word of mouth. So do with that whatever you will, I guess.
All right, that means a full go from your side. All right, let's do that. So yeah, I have, like, regarding this, the next question then. I think, yeah, what is your best, and then also maybe your worst, or let's start with the worst experience. You could name like experience with clients or anything, because those are the most interesting most of the time.
Well, I don't have any really bad experiences so far with clients. Um, but difficult is always getting the client to understand that their demo is simply a demo, and getting them past the stage of realizing that a demo will probably change, and you need to be open for that change and trying to make the song better. And it's just a matter of speaking to the client a certain way and just making sure that they understand that I'm coming from a place of me trying to help them make the song better, and not just me trying to put my stamp on something that isn't mine. At the end of the day, it's not my songs. So if I have a suggestion and the client doesn't want to do it that way, then not my decision to make. But if I really believe that their decision is shit, then I have to make sure that we find some common ground in order to move past that issue. Um, so yeah, getting the clients to open up about their demos and being open to change, and maybe changing the song, changing the chorus, changing, like especially changing the chorus is hard for clients, because that's the heart of the song. And if you're married to that, it's going to be tough. And yeah, just getting them to the point of trust that I'm not doing that for my own gain, but for theirs, that's always difficult. With some clients, it's more difficult than with others, but it can be very difficult. And
So it's
the best experience, you asked also?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
I mean, the best is always when they're happy at the end of the session. If at the end of a 12-hour day they're like, yeah, this song is like, I'm still not like, I'm happy with the song as the way it is, I'm still not sick of it, then I feel like my job is done. I just want them to be happy at the end of the day when they walk out of the studio, and getting feedback like, dude, the mix is sounding awesome. That's always really nice for me, because sometimes I haven't really done much and it's just their song that's sounding good. And the best is also like getting a new client, working with them for the first time, and them walking out, and before they're even home, they're sending me an email about the next session that they want to book. So that's awesome.
Nice.
That
So
always makes me happy.
what would you have, like, or what would you say, what would you tell them, to your like fellow musicians out there that want to work with you, that makes work smoother and let's say of more quality and efficiency in general? Something for a final,
Yeah, gotcha. Make better demos. The more detailed your demos are, the better the end result will be. I have a lot of musicians that come and work with me that write really good songs, really catchy stuff, just stuff that you would love to hear on the radio, but the demos are not as detailed as I would like them to be. Like if you have a nice guitar riff or a vocal melody or anything like that, try and figure out maybe a second guitar part that complements the first guitar part, or try and figure out a vocal harmony to make everything sound richer. And don't just expect me to find that harmony for you. I can help you with that. That is not the problem. But if you come here and you don't have that harmony, or maybe I write a harmony that you don't like at the end of the day, then that can be an issue. So the more detailed you are with your songwriting, the happier you will be. And the more work we can put into making stuff sound awesome, the more work we can put into your performance being the one for the track.
that is awesome. Nice. That is awesome. I hope there's a few musicians out there that heard this or are gonna hear this, and
So.
yeah, take what I can out of that. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, Mahmoud. And
Thank you so much for having me.
for the people that would like to work with him, check out, we put links and of course like his Instagram and everything below the video. Check it out, connect with him, and yeah, once again, thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Thanks so much for having me. That was really fun.